Look at this.
Is this the greatest German national team kit ever? What's happening, boys, and welcome to the FIFA 21 New Icons Predictions episodia. Now, this is admittedly going to be an episodia that causes a lot of controversy, and some of the ratings that I'm going to give players are going to cause people to say really crazy things, some things that they might not otherwise say just because we're talking about a player for their beloved club or nationality or whatnot. But today, we are going to be looking at the FIFA 21 icons and coming up with what I think might be a somewhat realistic, although albeit maybe somewhat biased given some of the icons I'm going to be giving ratings for, set of ratings for the FIFA 21 icons. I think I just said the same thing like 9 times, but I was inspired by a couple Reddit posts and some conversations that we were having on Twitter to go ahead and take a stab at my own FIFA 21 icon predictions. As you guys can see on the screen right here, this was one of the Reddit threads that inspired me to take a stab at these and do a deeper dive into some of these icons, given that some of these icons are actually guys that we saw in our era of play. Obviously, you know, previous icons like Perez and Henry are guys that we saw play growing up. But then there's also guys, you know, that played in the 50s, 60s, you know, 70s, 80s, and 90s that we didn't necessarily see play outside of Nick.
Oh my God!
Got him. So it's a little bit more difficult to give ratings based on that. You just have numbers and stats, and you have to. It's like what he said, she said, you know, how Pelé describes, how Johan Cruyff and Beckenbauer and all those guys describe Pelé. It starts to make sense why he has one of the highest rating of any icon in the game. But yeah, today we're going to look at the new icons. Without any further ado, boys, drop a mad lad like on the video if you guys agree with my ratings. Drop a mad lad like on the video if you disagree with my ratings. And more importantly, hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. So we're going to literally be going for what I think the prime icon rating should be for each of these new icons that have come in the game. So we start off with Davor Suker, who sees himself return since being a legend in FIFA 16. That's right, all the way back in FIFA 16, all we had are legends. There was no mid baby icon, Optimus Prime icon card. There was just a legend. That was an 88 rated card, and for being the second best Croatian player of all time after Dejan Lovren, I think this guy deserves a little bit of a boost. So I would consider the prime icon to be somewhere around an 89, but I mean, like, why not a 90 though? If you take a look at his stats, he started at Sevilla, went to Real Madrid, was like top 3, top 4 goal scorer for every year he played for either Sevilla or Madrid. He got the Golden Boot award in the 98 World Cup. I believe Croatia finished 3rd place and was voted as the second best player in the entire tournament, not named Ronaldo. So he did it at the club level, he did it at the international level, and I shudder to think that the only reason we might be overlooking a higher rated version of his card is that he is from a, you know, albeit smaller nation like Croatia. So, I don't know, interesting. Again, with all these icons, you guys let me know what you think. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play it big. I'm going to go bold. He had an 88 legend card in FIFA 16. I'm going to say 90. Deserves a prime moments, 90 rated card with maybe a prime icon moments, rating of 91 or 92, but I'm saying the prime icon card for Davor Suker, his peak card, deserves to be, in my opinion, 89, but realistically, given his accomplishments, I think it should be a 90. So we move on to Ashley Cole, who, interestingly enough, I learned this just a few months ago, and it's very impressive to know this, but Cheryl Cole, who I had a crush on growing up, was married to him at some point, and that's the reason that she's named Cheryl Cole, because she was married to Ashley Cole, so that's kind of mad. Played in MLS, so obviously I have a little bit of an emotional connection to him. In FIFA 10, he was an 88 rated left back, and then it was downhill from there. That's when his career, in terms of like speed and all that sort of stuff, kind of was going downhill. Then he went to Roma and all that sort of stuff, but was an absolutely incredible player in his prime. He has the most FA Cups player of any other player, one of 2 players to have won the double with 2 clubs alongside Nicolas Anelka, and was the most, is to this day the most capped fullback for England. In FIFA 10, like I said, he had an 88 rated, so that just shows you, you know, that was towards the tail end of his, I suppose, like, virtual game career, where like 88 was his highest rated base card, and then it went down like 85, 84, and then like he had a couple 80s, even had a silver at one point when he was in MLS, but I think prime moments, either 90 or 91. Again, I don't think defensive players get the respect, so I'd like to see some of the defensive players that I have on this list get a little bit more love. We're going to move on to Nemanja Vidic. of the famous four Serbian national team was an absolute unit, is the only way to describe this card. Was one of the best center back partnerships in the world at the time, from what, like 2007 to 2010 with Rio Ferdinand. Just imagine that, dude. The pace and the strength of Rio Ferdinand, coupled with the, albeit lack of pace, but incredible strength and really good defensive awareness and just bone crunching tackling ability of Nemanja Vidic, just conceded one goal during the 06 World Cup qualifying for Serbia, which is just all you really need to know about how nuts this card was, how nuts this player was, as well as how valuable he was to the Serbian national team. So should have something like 99 aggression, was the Manchester United captain for 4 years, and then the only thing about this card is he lacked pace. So I have a feeling like this is going to be one of those, even his prime icon moments, but like, for his prime icon card, which I think should be a 92. I think maybe if EA are generous, give him like 72, 73 pace, but it's noted that pace was never one of his strong suits. So I don't know, he might be one of those guys. If pace is an issue in FIFA 21 and that's something you need on your card, that might be one of the things that let him down. But I'm praying that maybe the prime moments has something like 72, 73, which would still be usable if we're basing it off of FIFA 20 standards and gameplay mechanics and that. But multiple Premier League winner, multiple Premier League winner, and has also won the Champions League. So Nemanja Vidic, my Serbian bros, I know you guys are 92 is not high rated enough. You guys are probably saying 95 for his baby, but I'm saying 92 for 92 prime icon Vidic. So we move on to Petr Cech. Now, Petr Cech, we're delving into some interesting territory because now we're talking about where does he rank among the Van der Sars and the Peter Schmeichel. So, my opinion, I'm just going to give you guys my rating off the bat. I think he deserves to be the same rating as Peter Schmeichel. If we're talking about the greatest goalkeepers in Premier League history, we're looking at Chelsea, Mourinho's Chelsea, which was a way more defensive than Ferguson's Manchester United. So what was it more difficult to do? Was it more difficult to be a keeper in Alex Ferguson's more attacking minded Manchester United squad? Which I suppose played a little bit more high energy and suppose in some ways might have required more from the keeper, Peter Schmeichel, who's, won the Premier League multiple times. Or was it more difficult to be the goalkeeper for a defensive-minded Jose Mourinho's squad for Chelsea, who he won the Champions League with? So, what does Petr Cech have over Peter Schmeichel? 200 clean sheets in the Premier League. I'm not sure we'll ever see that ever again. What else do we have? Schmeichel is a 92 rated and had a 41% clean sheet ratio versus 46% ratio for Petr Cech. So that's another thing in Petr Cech's favor. 200 clean sheets, like I said, only Premier League goalkeeper to do that. One of the greatest goalkeepers of all time. He is currently a goalkeeper for the Guildford Phoenix, which is the 4th level of British hockey, and received a man of the match for saving 2 penalties and multiple saves throughout that game. So he is still getting it done, and I think he deserves probably a +1 on whatever rating we're going to give him, just based on that fact alone. But who are we kidding? Petr Cech, one of the best goalkeepers of all time, one of the best Premier League goalkeepers of all time, arguably the greatest in the Premier League. So I think he deserves the same rating as Peter Schmeichel. Give them both 92. We're going to avoid a little bit of controversy there. But I could see maybe a situation where maybe his prime icon card at 93 is a +1 over Peter Schmeichel. I think that they both believe to be on the same. They need to be on the same level. So 92 for the both of them. Schweini. We get to my joint favorite player of all time alongside Lahm and Lukas Podolski. What other word can describe Bastian Schweinsteiger other than Fußballgott? Just a complete player, can do it defensively, has an absolute cannon as he exemplified it at multiple stages of his career. And if I'm thinking of the one lasting image of Bastian Schweinsteiger wearing the kit that I'm wearing right now, staring up at the sky, in that final in 2014 versus Argentina with the blood coming down his face, just represents what he's meant for that team. Just grinds defensively, can bang them in from distance in an attacking way. 45 goals in 345 matches for Bayern, and then an additional 24 goals for the Mannschaft. Boundless energy, ridiculous shot power. His prime icon card, if it has anything less than 97 shot power, that's going to be one of the most controversial ratings that any player has. Okay, maybe his finishing wouldn't be that crazy. Maybe your shot accuracy from distance, maybe something like 91 or 92. But shot power, damn it, Bastian Schweinsteiger deserves at least 97. On his baby card, I'm talking about. So, yeah, if Gerrard has a 91 prime moments card, I think it's fair to say that Schweini, who has won Champions League, who has won the Bundesliga multiple times with his club, and has played elsewhere, and has done so successfully as well, I think he deserves a 91 as well. So if we're talking about a prime icon, Gerrard, who is 91 rated, I think Schweini deserves at least that. I think he's on a level of Steven Gerrard. Anyone that says differently, come and fight me. We're moving on to Javi, who in many people's opinions deserves to be the highest rated. If we're talking about prime icons, some people might think that he deserves to be the highest rated of the bunch of new icons that we have, and I don't think that you can make an argument against that. I mean, from 2008, from about 2007 to 2011, that Barca squad, that 2008-2009 Barca squad is arguably the greatest squad of all time. Messi, Xavi, Iniesta just represented the peak of the Spanish golden generation, as well as tiki-taka, as well as Guardiola, all that stuff, all the accolades, all the superlatives. There's nothing more, there's no higher praise that you could give a team than what you would describe that Barcelona squad as. So, I mean, arguably one of the best, if not, I mean, one of the best Spanish midfielders of all time, alongside Iniesta. Barca could for sure, given what happened yesterday, the 8-2, Barca for sure could use a Xavi regen to come through those doors through La Masia. Like right now is what they need, but it seems like the board, in terms and a whole other reasons, Kike Setien, and just for all other managerial reasons, just Barca are just not in good form right now. But hopefully they turn it around. So I mean, Xavi, what else needs to be said? When you hear the name Xavi, you just think that's him. That's the guy. If we're talking about best midfielders of all time, you're thinking like top 3, top 4. So for that reason, a prime moments card. I mean, a prime icon. I'm going to say prime moments. What I mean to say is prime icon, the one before the icon moments card. Prime icon Xavi, I'm saying 94 minimum. I mean, like 92 is too low. 93 doesn't seem right. I think 94 is just on the precipice of what seems to make sense. And I think you could even make an argument that maybe even 95 would be warranted. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say 94 rated for Xavi. Again, the tiki-taka king. Just represented the golden generation of Spanish football. Absolute brilliance. So you guys let me know. Do you think 94 is too low? Do you think 94 is too high? I think 94 is perfect. It's right in there in that sweet spot where that's what he deserves as a minimum, given the player that he was and what he meant for the Spanish national team, and then also Barcelona. So we move on to one of my favorite players of all time, one of the greatest African players of all time, up there with George Weah and Didier Drogba as the best African strikers of all time. It is none other than Samuel Eto'o Fields. Had an 89 rated card in FIFA 10, and then again it was kind of downhill from there. Went to Antalyaspor, balled out in the Super League, and then had a couple Team of the Season cards. But the base card we're talking about in FIFA 10 was 89 rated. 293 goals in 587 matches and another 56 for Cameroon. Was an important part of the Barca squad that won the Champions League both in 2006 and 2009. Needs to be noted, he scored in both of those finals, so he was a big-time player. Not only scored goals in the regular season, but came up clutch when it mattered the most in big-time competition. Had his old man celebration feature in FIFA 18, so, I mean, one of the only players that had, like, just a really cool celebration. You guys will remember that one. And just felt so good scoring with a guy who was getting up there in age, and you do the old man celebration. Would love to see that come back as like a celebration that's locked to Samuel Eto'o in FIFA 21. I'm pretty sure he's one of only a few players that like went ahead and won the double as well. Didn't they win the double? Didn't he win the double for Barca in 09 and then went to Inter in 2010? So I think maybe some people think I'm probably giving him too high of a rating for his prime icon. I'm going to say 92 for Samuel Eto'o. Just scored goals wherever he went. He was a big-time player, big game player. Only thing I'm concerned about with him is the weak foot. I think maybe they give him a 3-star weak foot, but 100% locked in for 4-star skill moves. So 92 prime moments Eto'o. Fernando Torres, again, like Samuel Eto'o, had an 89 rated card in FIFA 10. I think Fernando Torres deserves at least a 91 or 92 prime moments card, given what he meant from the year 2000 to 2010. I mean, like, he was one of the most prolific goal scorers. He had a couple mere moments, but did everything. I think he won the Euros twice, won the World Cup obviously in 2010. El Nino, freaking fastest player in Liverpool history to score 50 goals, still stands to this day, I believe. And third most goals for a Spanish player in terms of Spanish striker history, and then scored in the Euro 2008 and 2012 finals. So was such a key component for the Liverpool squads that did what they did. Also, obviously banged in a hell of a lot of goals for Atletico Madrid, and just had success everywhere he went. You could argue he was a very important part of what made Spain just the deadliest national team, and arguably the craziest national team run of all time. 2008 Euros, 2010 World Cup, and then 2012 Euros. Just really impressive run for the Spanish national team. And yeah, I'm saying 91 or 92 prime moments card for prime icon card for Fernando Torres. We're talking Ferenc Puskás, who's coming up next, a guy that none of us, outside again of Nick, have seen play. So, going to be a controversial one as well, but just because we don't really know. All we know are like how people described him. There's footage of him. One of the only players that I've ever seen do a drag back in the box to a near post goal versus England in, I believe, 1956 or something or the other. The Hungarian national team traveled to Wembley and beat England roundly 2 times in that era, and was one of the craziest teams ever. The Mighty Magyars is what they were called. And has his own award named after him, the Puskás Award, obviously, for the most beautiful goal. And I think that really speaks volumes of how much this guy was seen as a legend. The most beautiful goal award is named the Puskás Award, and that's really, really cool. So yeah, he was captain of the Mighty Magyars. Best striker partnership ever in Madrid history, or maybe even world history. Puskás and Di Stefano. They won the European Cup 2 years in a row, 58-59, and then from 60 to 65, they won La Liga 5 years in a row. So they won the European Cup, which was the Champions League back then, 2 years in a row with Madrid, and then went on to win La Liga 5 years. So a 7-year stretch of just complete and utter dominance at one of the top flight levels, top clubs in Europe at the time. And he got 515 goals in 530 appearances, with another 84 goals for Hungary. And fun little fact about him, he appeared for the Spanish national team for 4 games. Had to do with political tensions back in Hungary and the former Soviet Union. Just a whole bunch of stuff that's too difficult to get into and too difficult for me to even comprehend. But for a bunch of reasons, like he wasn't able to return to Hungary. He was banned by FIFA at one point because of not going back to Hungary, and he defected, and all this crazy stuff. He has a really, really incredible life story. And I've been actually reading a whole bunch of stuff on Puskás as a result of him being an icon in FIFA 21. He's just one of those guys that just seems to have a really interesting life story and is very fun to learn about. So Hungary, I'm sure you're very, very excited to get yourself your beloved Ferenc Puskás in the game. So listen, 94 prime icon Puskás. I think he deserves to be on the level of Johan Cruyff. You guys let me know if you disagree or if you agree, but I say 94 prime icon for Puskás. We're going to Eric Cantona, King Eric, arguably one of the most beloved characters for Manchester United. Roy Keane loved him just because he was just one of those gritty players. He didn't take anything from anyone. Alex Ferguson seemed to love him as well. The guy even featured in the film Elizabeth in 1998. So he had a film career after, and I'm a film guy, so I loved that little kind of trivia. Not the first time he did the Kung Fu kick in the Premier League. He did it versus a Nantes player, and he got a 3-month ban. 64 goals for United in 131 appearances. And this one might be a little bit controversial because Henry's prime icon card is 93 rated. Is Eric Cantona the best striker in Premier League history? I mean, if we're talking about best strikers in Premier League history, I think Henry is. I would say it's not controversial to say Henry is better. So I think that if Henry is 93, I think Cantona is on a level where I think a 92 is a worthy and respectable rating for this prime icon, Eric Cantona. I know Manchester United supporters, you're probably going to say, no, he deserves to be on level with Henry, but if we're keeping it a stack, I think 92 is the right rating for him. Was fast, was really, really clinical, was strong more than anything, so I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a guy that has like 90 plus pace, but maybe like, 87 or 88 with really good strength and good finishing. Eric Cantona's 92, I think, is what he's going to get on that card. And then we move over to Philipp Lahm, the last of the icons that we're going to be rating. And, this is where maybe my bias comes in, but if we're talking about one of the best, if not the best German defender of all time, some people will say Beckenbauer, but what he meant to the German national team, the 2004 Euros was an absolute disgrace. Germany got grouped, but the only bright spot in that entire campaign was Philipp Lahm, and he instilled hope in Germany that maybe going forward there was going to be some success at a national team level. And lo and behold, from 2006 to 2000, we're not going to talk about the last World Cup, but from 2006 to 2014 when it culminated, Germany just are that team that they always make it to the round of 16. They always make it to like top 4, top 5, and then it culminated in a World Cup victory for them in 2014. So 93 is what I'm going to give him for prime moments. Prime icon. You guys are saying, what are you talking about? He should probably be like 91 or 92. No, he deserves a 93 prime moments card. I don't think a prime icon card. That's not controversial, okay? The defenders in FIFA don't get any respect. We need a high-rated defensive card. He scored one thing that that needs to be noted. He consistently across, since that 2004 Euro, he consistently logged more minutes than any other German national team player, has stamina for days, 99 stamina, has never been sent off for 2 yellows or a red, so his defensive awareness needs to be off the level, even given the way that he played, which was very, very physical. But the thing with Philipp Lahm is he's going to be hit with that smart player stereotype, right? He was a smart player, so he's not going to have the pace that's maybe going to be usable in FIFA. He's not going to have the shooting stats, which even though he banged in goals, opening goal for Germany in the 2006 World Cup versus Costa Rica, in the 2008 Euros versus Turkey, scored the game winner that he even said possibly they didn't deserve, wasn't the best goal in the world, but he banged in goals for both Bayern and it wasn't a lot, but I'm just saying, EA, look out for your boy. 83 shooting, come on, give him 83 shooting. He had 85 pace on his base card he had an 87 rated card, which was his highest rated ever base card, and that had 85 pace. So I'm saying, if we're giving him a prime moments card, which I think in his prime was, maybe somewhere between 2006 and 2014, can we give him 87 as a wingback? I think that'd be usable. Maybe 86 sprint speed with 89, 99 acceleration or something like that. But yeah, consistently played a hell of a lot of minutes. Stamina needs to be there, and just standing tackle and sliding tackle more than anything. His prime icon sliding tackle rating needs to be absolutely ridiculous because he has that little gazelle sweep that he used to do. And as a matter of fact, he deserves his own little animation, if I'm being honest with you. So EA, if you're watching this, please, 93 prime icon Philipp Lahm. But that's going to do it. Oh, it does need to be noted, I don't want to seem like I'm not pointing out flaws. The 2008 Euro between the goal that, interestingly enough, Fernando Torres against Jens Lehmann, who maybe isn't going to be in FIFA 20 as an icon, and Philipp Lahm. There was some miscommunication between Jens Lehmann and Philipp Lahm that resulted in that Fernando Torres goal, which kicked Germany out of the 2008 Euro. So who knows how things would have gone had that not happened. But I think, I'm going to blame Jens Lehmann a little bit more for that, because Philipp Lahm would never. His footballing IQ, as Pep Guardiola has said, is among the highest he's ever seen, and he's coached Messi, so that says a lot. And Iniesta and Xavi. So those are my icon ratings for FIFA 21. I think we covered all of them. If I left one out, I apologize. I'm looking at the list right now, and I think I've covered them all. Yeah, you guys let me know where I went a little high, where I went a little low. You guys let me know in the comments section below. And yeah, this was just meant to be a fun little discussion piece, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. But hopefully you guys have a great rest of your Saturday. We'll hopefully get some more content tomorrow. The UCL Showdown cards that came out today, the Bernat and then the Forsberg, just really didn't speak to me. I don't really love the card design, and just really not cards that fit into my squad. Yeah. Don't have much to say about that other than they look pretty cheap at 100K a pop. But like I said, boys, hopefully you guys did enjoy. Drop a like if you did. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Catch you guys for another upload tomorrow. Till next time, boys. Tschüss. Later. Ade.